I'd like to welcome you up to the site of the Wine Mountain in Provo, Utah. This whole mountain is a city park. It's really nice. This is one of my favorite places in the whole United States. It's glorious. And we can scroll over here and you can see, that's Provo, Utah. You can see bits of BYU right there. And it's glorious. It's a nice spring day, meaning it's about 45 degrees outside. Where I'm at was under snow when I first got here after leaving Florida. So it's recently melted snow and already turning green. Utah's a desert. When it gets warm enough for no snow, the plants jump. Anyway, today we have a tutorial about how to assemble your annotated bibliography. Okay. I'm not going to go through the steps right here. I filmed it ahead of time. You can watch it now. It's 24 minutes long. Watch all of it. Parts of it I fast forwarded through because some of it's boring. And there are parts of it where I think I sound like I'm mumbling. Some of those mumbles are important. I apologize for the mumbles. It's the first time I filmed a good tutorial and I need more practice. But you're able to see a lot of information. Most of you guys did not do the annotated bibliographies correct. I've seen two of the annotated bibliographies that have already been turned in. They look great. But I wanted to post this really quick so I can start pointing you guys in the right direction. Anyway, like I said, it's 24 minutes long. Watch the whole thing. Okay? And then I'm going to come back right at the end while I'm still up here and I have a few more things to give you. So, okay, here we go. Here is the tutorial. Have fun. This right here is a short tutorial about how to do an annotated bibliography. And so on your screen, you can see just a bunch of stuff. Okay, so you're scrolling down, you see just a bunch of stuff. It's not formatted yet. In fact, there are formatting mistakes in here, and we're going to go over that really carefully. Okay, so let's do that. Let's look at things really carefully. So the first thing, automatically you're going to see that things are not formatted correctly according to what MLA requires and to what an annotated bibliography requires. Now, for the specific type of annotated bibliography, we are doing an MLA annotated bibliography. Annotated bibliographies are different in APA and other styles. This is the MLA version. Of course, that's what we're going to teach you. This is an English class. I do want to point out I've already formatted the page numbers, so we're not going to make any changes there. But everything else is formatted, basically default, ugly Arial font. So let's go ahead and make changes. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select everything, and I do that just with a keyboard command, which on a Mac is Command A, so select everything. And then I'm going to come up here, change the font to Times New Roman. Then next, I'm going to go to 12-point font, just like that. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change my spacing to double. I'm going to also double check my spacing. Okay, so I want you to look in here. See the line spacing? It's double. Make sure there's no zero. Right here where it says before and after that, it's all zeros. Okay, because sometimes it'll sneak something in there, especially Word will do that. And that's why your papers look like crap sometimes, where you've got too much spacing between paragraphs. All right, so now we have everything in there. I've made sure that my name, the student, is spelled right. I've got my professor's name spelled. Oh, I have a mistake. So I fixed that. So make sure that the professor's information is spelled correctly, depending on what the professor wants. And in my case, you just put my name. And then right here, I've got the class number. And then here's the assignment names, Holmes Annotated Bib with the period right there. It's bibliography is abbreviated in this assignment name. And then there's the date. And then right here, we select that, and then we just center it. Okay, we don't do anything else. This is where we now start to have some things. And I'm going to show you what I do first. So I'm now going to select the rest of this document, and I've got to scroll all the way down to the bottom. And you're going to see it's, what, 5 pages? Okay. So that's 5 pages of stuff. Next, I'm going to go ahead and format it as if everything were a hanging indent. So I'm just going to move this bar. See this stuff up here? I'm just going to move the little triangle over to here. Okay. And then I'm going to select the little rectangle on top. And I know this is hard for some computers, especially you guys using laptops where you have the little, doggone it, it moved the whole thing over. That's not what I wanted. There we go. Yeah, if you're using a, one of the finger things, the finger pads on a laptop, that can be a pain in the can. So I do know that. All right, so the next step is I'm going to, select the paragraph text. Now I want you to look at this right here. See, that's all Latin. That's the Lorem Ipsum, presets. It doesn't mean anything important. I mean, it is actual Latin. So those of you who speak Latin, you know what it means. But right here, this is what 150 words looks like. For most of you guys, you're pretty close. Some of you guys write way too much, and some of you guys write way too little. And just by this, I can tell you, I can see it. So right here, now we're going to fix it. So it's back to this, and then we're going to scroll to 0.75. Do you see how it's set apart? Now, I want you to notice there is no tab. So right here where some people are putting in a tab, no tab goes there. Okay? None at all. It just stays just that whole block. Now, when you are writing this block right here, do not include the author name, do not include the article name, do not include the publisher information, because that stuff is up here, right there. Okay, so now I'm just going to go through, and I'm going to fix all the summary paragraphs real fast. Okay, so now we have that all done, okay? The next thing we have to do is we have to go over here and we have to put this in bold. So bold, okay? Okay, so now that it's all bolded, see how it's all bolded? This is how it should look, okay? Now, there are still some problems, and it has to actually do with the source. Remember how I told you this wasn't formatted properly? Well, it also has some source problems. This everything here I picked comes from the Gale online resource. Gale does not do it correctly, okay? I have to emphasize that very closely. Gale does not do it correctly. So when you look at the bottom, you scroll down to the bottom of your Gale thing, and you see this crap in here, it's wrong, all right? The reason why it's wrong is when the Gale service inserts this stuff into their system, they're actually making changes. There are quite a few different changes in here. So, for example, right here it says, how bigotry created a black mental health crisis. Okay, that's the article beginning. However, when I scroll up to the top and I see byline and it says Kylie M. Smith, you know what that means? That means Kylie M. Smith wrote it. Okay? And you can come up here, see right here, they don't have any of the publisher information. So I actually have to, look carefully. So now I have to come over here, copy this. Okay? Control C, and I come over here, oops, wrong one, and I have to come over to the beginning of this, and then I have to insert it, okay? But it's not formatted correctly here, so I've got to select that, Control X, and then I come over here, add a comma, and then I get rid of this extra period. Okay, so right there, remember I told you, they get it wrong. There's still more mistakes. So I'm going to allow them one thing in here that I don't like to do. They actually took this from the Washington Post. Now, they did change it, but because I looked at the original and it's not the same. There are a few editorial changes they made in here. Another thing, so we've got the Washington Post, and you'll notice right here they have it italicized. Well, we need to make sure we have it italicized as well. And they have a date. We're going to leave that date in here because that's the day they stole this from the Washington Post. Okay? But that's not the important date. Then we're going to italicize this information. So let's come back. We're going to look right here. I'm going to close this because it bugs me. So we're going to come over here. We're going to italicize WashingtonPost.com. That gets italicized. So click italics. Gale in context opposing viewpoints. That gets italicized. And I want to, real quick before we're going further. This is where the title comes from. Gale in context opposing viewpoints. Okay. Gale sometimes will put this incorrectly in their pages. I've noticed that before. So we don't accept that. Okay. So we have it in there. So we've got all the Gale in context. And the next thing we have to do is we notice this website. Now I can tell you that website is incredibly wrong. Okay. That's their proxy site. I don't want to deal with their proxy site. I want to deal with their direct website. So if you look right here, it says https://linkgale.com. But if you go up here, that's different. Go Gale, easyproxy.fau.edu. Different websites. So they've lied to you about this proxy. We want this one. So we're going to select that, Control-C, go back to here. And then in here, we're going to copy this. We're going to delete it. So delete. And we're going to insert that other website. That's how it looks. We have to come back over here, put a space. Okay. So, did you see what I did? I actually put the correct website in there for this article. So I put the correct name in there. I make sure, look, the article is not correct. Often, they're not going to correctly format the article. So that means I've got to come in here and correctly format the article. Okay? So fix that. We're going to come over here. And we're going to come over here. Blam. See, now the article name is correctly formatted. Don't trust them. Okay? They're wrong. And then we're going to come down and we're going to fix the final mistake. Okay? Which is, we're going to delete that. Okay. Now, there is a lot of debate about this date. I'm going to leave it. Okay? Because that's the date the original article was published. All right? However, the rest of this is how normally I would delete it, but in this case, because it comes from the Washington Post and it was written here, we are going to leave it. But you could see I've changed quite a bit. Okay, so Smith, Kylie M., here's the article, formatted correctly. See, there's a period there, there's a period here, then we have the publisher information, so that's the first part of it, then followed by a period, more publisher information, Gale in context, and all of that. There's a period right there. We're going to leave it. And then 15 April 2020. Actually, I don't like that. There's a problem with this. So let me show you why. That's not where this date goes. And I just remembered. I apologize. So we're going to come over here, delete that. We're going to take this out. Control X, take it out. And we're going to go ahead and put it where it belongs, which is actually right here after the publisher information. Now we have to post the date here, okay? And then we're going to put a comma, okay? So, do you see what I'm saying? This is how the publisher information goes. The day you access it goes there. This is the date they published it. We're going to leave it alone. But this date has to appear. In a lot of cases, I want to delete this, but there's a debate about it, and I don't want to involve you guys. It's stupid. But this is now what it should look like. Don't worry about this big gap right here. Don't worry about that. That's fine. All right, now there's still another problem. If you notice, it's not in alphabetical order. Okay, but we're going to go through piece by piece. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Here's the second one. See, it says Luke R. Aldridge et al. Well, we actually have to come up here and look at who the authors of this thing is. Remember, I told you they screw things up. Okay, so right here we have four authors. Okay, so Luke R. Aldridge is the first one. We're going to leave it. If it were just two, we would then say, we'd put both authors. But because it's four, we then do et al. The trick is you have to check, because you can't trust this crap here when you see it coming from any source, the library, whomever. And the library isn't trying to screw you over. They have different standards than what you have to follow. Okay, now you notice that, the punctuation in the title is wrong. So we have to come in and we have to fix that. And that drives me right up the wall, because it is, those guys have masters or PhDs. They should be formatting this crap correctly. So we have to come in here and fix it ourselves. All right, so we've got that. Here's where they're getting it. They're getting it from this site. Okay, this is an actual journal. So I'm going to italicize it. I will be leaving this information in here. See this right here? I have to leave that in there. This is all the publisher information. That's why we left it in the Washington Post. Okay, then we come over here and we italicize this. So italics L, we have to go over here and we have to get this crap out. And put it where it goes. We have to put that like that. And we get rid of that stupid accessed by garbage. Okay, that's how it looks. Oh, wait, the website is still wrong. So, no, we come down here and we fix the website. Remember, you don't accept what they put down here. That's the proxy garbage. We have to put this up there. Control C, come back, and we insert it. See how big that is? That's how it should look, okay? Do not trust the library when it comes to MLA. There's a reason also. Not only are they having to follow the requirements for MLA, they also have to follow the requirements for APA or Chicago. They're just basically putting that information in there, and then you as the user have to decide what kind of grade you want. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fix all of these, and then we're going to get to the next problem. Okay. Oh, one second. I'm going to show you this one. Look, there's no author name right there, but they include the author name right here. Okay. And let's see if I can find out why. They don't explain why, other than they put an author information. So because they list one author, we are going to include this one author right here. Okay. We're going to keep that. Let's go ahead and fix. Here, look, another note right here. Let me show you this. Gale opposing Viewpoints online collection. But if you look, that's not the title at the top. Okay? So the title they're giving you down here is not the correct. Oh, right. It says, oh, I see what they did. Oh, they include all this extra garbage. The name of the website is this. Okay, so we have to get rid of all this other crap. Okay, so we're going to get rid of this because it's not correct. Okay, because the name of the website is Gale in Context Opposing Viewpoints. And then we're going to take this date. Again, another one, they had the title in there incorrectly. This is how it should look, because the name of the website, look up there at the top, the name of the website is what? Gale in Context, Opposing Viewpoints, not all that other garbage that they inserted. Let's take a look at the next one. This one's closer. All right, let's see if they actually have an author. Oh, I've seen this table before. So they don't, let's see. Oh, the graphic is created by the staff at the Tribune News Service, which kind of sucks because there is going to be a guy who did the work, but big study comes from Mental Health Weekly Digest. Let's see if they list any authors. No authors. So this comes from some type of corporate author. Okay, so with the corporate author, in this case, then we're just going to go ahead and leave the title first. We're going to scroll down. We're going to make sure it's formatted correctly in there. Build for expansion. Oh, see right in here? They have errors. We fix those. Now, I am suspicious of one thing I want to show you. Right here's a Mental Health Weekly, then they have the 13 April 2020 stuff, and then they have the page number afterwards. That's correct, in case you were wondering. Because it's much the same that we're doing here. So what they do is they have the publisher, the date that it was published, and then we have the page number. It's pretty much the same here where we're going with Gale, who's our publisher, the day we're accessing it, and then this information, which, by the way, is wrong. Oh, see right here, look at this. They have 5 authors, so that was correct. Okay. All right, let's fix this. Mary et al. Oh, see, not correctly formatted. All right, now we have another problem. Okay, this is the last problem, and then we'll be done. What's happened is that this is out of order. Okay, this starts with S, and the next person down is Aldridge. Obviously, Aldridge goes first. So the way you fix it is you actually go to the bottom of this. You select your full paragraph. Okay, select the whole paragraph. You hit Command X on a Mac, and then you come over here, and you just insert it, hit Enter, and blam, there you go. It's in there correctly. You have this gap. We don't want the gap. We get rid of it. And so now, if you notice the next name, this goes in front. So you do the same thing again. You have to switch it all over. Make sure you have it in the correct alphabetical order. Control X, and it goes in front of Smith. Okay. Oh, look at that. It changed our formatting. Jerks. So we have to come back and make sure our formatting is correct. See, you don't trust anybody. Let's see, it did it here too. So you come back, make sure you have it all formatted correctly. Okay. Okay, so we make sure and we insert it here. And we fix the mistake that snuck in. And then last thing, this is very important, go to the end of your document and find all of those, delete it out. Okay, so you can see it's 7 pages. All right, this is a properly formatted document. Please do not trust the library or anyone else to get your information correct. make sure you are looking it up in your little book that you got from the school to make sure your annotated bibliography is done correctly. Never, ever trust the library. I love the library. They're wonderful. They provide great services. However, they don't have all the time in the world to make sure that this is formatted correctly. They don't. They're going to be working quickly, so they're going to make some mistakes, and they don't mind making those mistakes because, honestly, it is your job as the student to find those mistakes and fix them yourself. Exhausting, right? So that's how you do it. This is how it should be formatted. It is very important you know how to do this correctly. An annotated bibliography looks like this. Okay? The reason why you want to get this right now is so later on when you have other classes, you could do it correct. I've had to produce loads of these. And it's also just good to have when you are researching independently anyways. All right, welcome back. Well, I know parts of that were weird, and I apologize that parts of that were weird. It just kind of happens that way. But hopefully, lots of it was helpful. The annotated bibliography has to have the MLA reference. Please remember that the websites, the Gale website, especially all their reference stuff at the bottom, is wrong. Don't use that. The other thing is that when you're writing your annotated bibliography, you want to make sure that you're doing 150 words of summary. Don't include the author information or the publisher information. That's in that MLA reference. The summaries have to be really tight and clean. You'll want that later on when you're writing more of these. The other thing also when you're doing an annotated bibliography is remember to put everything in alphabetical order. And last, this is the most important, do not trust any online aggregator of MLA reference. They're always wrong. Always. I've never seen one do it right. I've seen tons of them. And I know some of you in your past classes were recommended to use a few of them. They're garbage, guys. Don't trust them. Use your book. Your book is your best reference. But the way I formatted everything here, that's fine. Actually, there's one mistake. Let me tell you about the one mistake. Do you remember the one table that showed the map of the United States? At the bottom it said Tribune Graphic Service. I think that was the name of it. That actually is the author name. You need to use that at the beginning where the author name is. Otherwise, if it doesn't list an author, then don't include one. Also remember, if you have more than 2 authors, then you have to do the et al business. Unless, well, I'll look. It's goofy. Anyway, turn those in, get them done as soon as you can, and you guys have fun.